Kindly occupy the front rows. And this is recorded. So kindly occupy the front rows. Uh, Kindly maintain decorum. Whatever you do, it's been live telecasted and live streaming has been done. And it's been watched by UGC people. So our students are always the best. Hope you will maintain decorum, that I know. But even then, I need to. Fine. So I want to welcome the speakers of the afternoon session. Dr. R. Vit-Csu is the assistant professor, postgraduate in research department of Sanskrit, Ramakrishna Mission, Vivekananda College, Autonomous Institution, Mylapore, Chennai. And we will be speaking about the linguistic aspects. And we have one other speaker, Sri T.S. Prasanna Venkatesh, who is a senior research fellow, Language Technologies Research Center, IIT Hyderabad, and he will be giving you a hands-on session on the Sanskrit linguistics, and he will be telling you the basics of the NLP, natural language processing, and so apart from this, he works with the elective. He will be teaching electronically in Sanskrit and English, and he works with mobile app development such as Flutter, Dart, React Native, Flutter Creative, Python, OpenCV, NLTK, which is part of the NLP, natural language processing, Spacey transformers, and he also has a work experience with this, working with Docker, and he has a kind of GitHub, he uses Git as well. So he's basically his research are into kind of problem solving, collaboration, and about time management. So the detailed description of about the speakers will be given by one of our students by Kushi, where she will be giving the detailed description, and then go to the speakers, Mr. Dr. Guru Prasad and Shri Prasanna Venkatesan. Everybody ready? Ready? To an extent.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Our first speaker of the day will be Dr. Guru Prasad. He will be speaking about the linguistic aspects of Sanskrit. Sir is an assistant professor at Vivekananda College, and he has qualified in UGC NET. And he has also qualified in SET, and he has finished his PG diploma in manuscript development. He has also contributed to editing and publishing the manuscripts of Kavya Darpana of Raja Chudamanik Dikshita, conducted by the French Institute of Pondicherry from 2018 to 2020. He has published several papers, including Sri Mana Narayana and the Intelligence, Sciences and Structural Literature. He has presented a paper on Chamakrita Sahityasa Sachina Madhya Kalino Nayoha Jai Vili Gatha Tatmas Tatma Tatma that will be described by him. And he's also been invited to several lectures, and he has conducted several workshops as well. And he has also attended several Vit-Csu. Our second speaker of the day is Dr. T.S. Prasanna Venkatesh, who will be speaking on the verbal. We'll be speaking about the verbal ability, and he is a very notable speaker uh, who has gone first in BA Sanskrit degree and has background in programming and Sanskrit NLP. He, he has published a spell checker for Sanskrit, the road less studied, the proceedings of the 19th International Conference on Natural Language Processing. He has presented several papers, including a demo paper titled Contextual Spell Checking in Sanskrit and Kokonata Mahatin, forgotten scholar of the Vit-Csu period, and a Sanskrit spell checker at the 18th World Sanskrit Conference. Has also demonstrated the Sanskrit spell checker at a 3-day international seminar on Panyan grammar and its application. And he has presented and won the Best Paper Award for paper titled Spell Checker for Sanskrit, The Road Less Taken at the 19th International Conference of Natural Language Processing, organized at IIT Delhi, IIT Delhi, India during December 15 to 18, 2022. These are the features of both speakers.
Yes, I have to. Yeah. Shall I keep it? Okay, namaste to one and all present here. So, as introduced earlier about me, so I'm assistant professor from Vivekananda College, Mylapore. So, my specialization in Sanskrit grammar. So, let us have some linguistics aspects related to Sanskrit language. Can anyone say what does a language mean? Anything about language? Yes. Anything about language? Do you know about that? So we are communicating with each other in what? So the language itself. It can be verbal or gestures. In some other mode also we can communicate with other. So whatever we are having in our mind, we are communicating with other through the medium is language. So in earlier days, if we take Stone Age or some other Copper Age, so in those days also, people are conversing with others through some language. It may be some gestures or something. They have to converse with others. So for that, they have used what? This language. So let us have this in your mind. So people want to converse or share their ideas, share their thoughts, anything about with others, then they have to somehow use the language. So that's what mentioned in the first point. So it can be set of symbols. So that's what mentioned as the first point. Actually, language is full of words that you know. Language is full of words. For example, if we take if we want to share a single sentence, so a sentence is full of words, isn't it? So that's what mentioned as the first point. Set of symbols means it could be letters, it could be words, and then the paragraphs, etc. Okay, so a set of symbols linked to meaning governed by rules. Remember, the language has its own rule. Without rule, you cannot see a language. If there is a language, that will not be recognized by the scholars. So that's what the statement made by the linguistics, that each and every language should have some kind of grammar. Without grammar, there is no language. So there are some languages out there which don't have any grammar. So those kind of language, even people today, they are conversing in that. So, but what about Sanskrit? It has a perfect grammar, laid the foundation by the mainly the scholar is known as Panini. I think most of you knew about this person. He is known as great grammarian called Panini. So for each and every language, so if we have to converse, then we should have a set of symbols, so that through that we can share our thoughts. And the symbols are nothing but fundamental units, which can be letters or words or sounds, characters. Have you noticed any time when you are knocking the door or when you are opening the door, you could hear some sound? Like, if that sounds, if we listen to that, then straight away we will have this in our mind. So the door is opening or the door is closing. So in that way, we are having this in our mind. Even we if we have to utter a word or not, we may be communicated through that sound also. So sound can be a language. So that's what mentioned. It can be characters used for communication. That's what mentioned as symbols. And remember, without meaning, if a sentence is used or used by others, then how that has some kind of sense. Without meaning, if a person is conversing means we cannot able to understand that sentence. So meaning is so much important for a language. So by Kalidasa, you may heard about this person called Kalidasa, a famous poet in Sanskrit. He has written so many works like Raghuvamsha, so many works like this. I think you may study this second language Sanskrit. No? Some of you who have studied second language Sanskrit in your 10th or 12th? Okay, okay. So most of you, anyway, so even if you are studied some other language like French, German, any language, but this comes under this only. Okay, so linguistics means it comprises all the languages, nothing but only the Sanskrit. Yes, so meaning is so much important when we are dealing with the language. Each symbol or combination of symbols represents a specific idea, object, or a concept. So language means there is an idea, there is a thought, and so on. And remember, for having this a perfect language, there should be some set of rules. So that's what mentioned by like we say grammar. So a language can be classified into two. One is literature, another one is grammar. You may heard about that literature part, like Shakespeare has done so many plays like that. So those kind of things comes under this literature part, and there are grammar for each and every language. For English also, we are having something. We may not say I is. We may not say I are. What we say, I am or I was. Like that, we have to say what is the rule behind that? So there is a rule given by the English, the grammar scholar. Okay, so in that same way, for each and every language, there will be some rule, syntax, or grammar, a structured set of guidelines. So if you are entering into the campus, you may be instructed by some in your diary also. It may be noted that you should follow this. You should wear your ID card. You should be maintain your decorum. So in the same way, they are mentioning in your diary also. So there are some guidelines for you. If you go into the exam hall, you should be having your hall ticket. You should not have identity with you. So these kind of things set by the examiner or the organizer. So a structured set of guidelines, like it can be logically proven or grammatically proven, but determines how syllables can be combined and manipulated to create meaningful expressions. So this is the third point mentioned by me. So rules. Rules means here grammar. And the next thing is every thinking involves using language. Without language, we cannot share or express anything to other. Language can express beauty in art, like songs, poems, or stories, etc. Maybe it may be crude in a context. Okay, some of the post text are there in English or some other language, which may be having some page. It may go for pages, 10 pages, 20 pages. You should have only one sentence. So he went there. What kind of person he is? So they are giving some description for that for 20 pages. So we maybe get bored down because of that. So that kind of things are available in language, and it can be sophisticated, mediocre, and technical. Language adapts to various contexts, can be ethnic, traditional, modern, and slang, formal, or informal. We may be conversing with our friend with a colloquial language, but we may not do the same with VC or D. So we should have some regulations for that. So it serves specialized fields like law. You may be seeing some statements in law, so it should have that clause. Without clause, there is no law. So you may be experienced with that. So whenever we are buying a property or selling something, we should go by the set of the documents which we go through, which will be full of plus. Okay, so in medicine also there are some formations, morphology, everything there, and the variety and application of language are endless. Can you say how many languages are there in this universe? We cannot say, because the spoken languages or can be spoken languages can be counted, but how we can count the number of languages which can be spoken non-verbally without verbal form? We are using some language, we are gesturing something. How we can calculate that? Okay. For example, if you are getting boredom in the class, what do? You may be opening your mobile phone, you may be browsing something because you are showing that, or some people may show the time to the teacher that it is the time is going to that means it is the class is over, so please stop your lecture. So in that way you are indicating your teacher. So these kind of things are also considered as language, but we cannot name it. We cannot name it. So these kind of languages are there. So languages are endless. You cannot put a full stop for a language. So these kind of languages are there. Maybe you can classify the languages, but languages are endless in this universe. And the next part is linguistics. Linguistics is nothing but the study of the language is known as linguistics. If you are studying a language in a proper way, that is what known as linguistics. Linguistics is the systematic study. Systematic study means if you are reading one page and you are leaving 2-3 pages, means that is not comes under linguistics. So each and every aspect should be analyzed. So the systematic study of a language is known as linguistics. Systematic study of the structure and the evolution of human language is known as linguistics. It is applicable to every aspect of human endeavor. And look at the point number one. What are the structures can be available for a linguistic? So the structure, the first structure is given phonetics. Phonetics is nothing but how sounds. Sounds are known as phonetics. Sounds of a language. How it should be uttered. From what is the origin of that sound. So everything will be held in this phonetics. Okay. Panini has created a phonetic system called Paniniya Shiksha. In his text, he is mentioning about Sanskrit phonetics. Okay. And the second thing is phonology. What does phonology mean? Phonology means the pattern of the sound. Sound pattern is known as phonology. The study of the sound system of languages deals with the basic utterances in speech. It can be investigated by observing which physical properties of the vocal tract. And look at the third point. The third point is morphology. Morphology means when you are studying about a word, how this word is formatted. So the morphology means the word structure is known as, if you are discussing about a word, particular word, how this word is formed. So that study is known as morphology. In morphology, so there are 2-3 aspects are mentioned. One is syntax. Syntax is nothing but the internal structure of a word or a sentence is known as syntax. Can you remember? Syntax means the internal, when you are dealing with the internal structure of a word or a sentence is known as syntax. So it comes under morphology. And then semantics. Look at the word semantics. Semantic means you are dealing with the meaning of a word or a sentence. So when you are discussing about the meaning, for example, let us have this example with you. When people are saying that, okay, as you are young people, a person is, a lover is instructing the other person that he is asking, shall I leave? Then she is saying, yes, yes, you may go. But actually, her wish is, you have to stay here with me for few more hours. But you are leaving. So for that, she is saying, yes, if you want to leave, you can go. She is saying in this way. But what is the exact intention of her? So she is asking him to stay for little more time. So that's what the intention of that speaker. But this is not came out verbally. She is not saying you don't go. She is saying you go. But we have to, the hero has to understood that I should not go. If I am going means, then my love is got over. So that's what the essence of that sentence. So in this way, so when we are dealing with a word, okay, dealing with the word meaning or sentence meaning, that is what known as semantics. Okay, so linguistics seeks to specify the meaning behind the words and combination of words. This investigation is known as semantics. Semanticists also compare the meanings of these combinations. For example, if we are connecting two words, like what is the meaning of look for? I look for. What is the meaning? Look for. I look into. So these are the phrases. we are using in our conversation. So second give like find, search in this way. So it has some meaning. So how it comes? So that is the combination. Through this combination only we are getting these kind of meanings. And remember, so they are dealing with the history also. So whenever linguistic persons are conducting a research, so they will study the history of the research, sorry, history of the language, how this language has come to us. So in that way, they will do the research in this linguistic. Okay. And look at the next aspect, the study of language. The study of language. Why it is important? The study of language in, I think you may heard about some Vedas. Have you heard about Vedas? Can anyone name one Veda? Very good. Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda. So there are four Vedas. We may heard about. Actually, remember, here also there is a language. Vedas are not only having the mantra portion, you may have some language for that. Each and every statement in Veda has its own language. That is called, we say, Vedic language. We should not confuse with Vedic language and Sanskrit. Sanskrit is a classical language, whereas Veda has its own language, its own grammar. There is a grammar called Vedic grammar. We should not confuse with that. But the thing is, Panini has created a grammar for both Vedic grammar as well as Sanskrit grammar. That's why we are celebrating Panini as the foremost grammarian among all. Because before Panini also, there were grammarians, scholars like Gargya, Apishali, etc., etc. But we are celebrating Panini because of his relevance. Even today, Panini's system is so much relevant. So that's why we are celebrating that Panini. Look at this. In the study of language, remember, without the meaning, a word cannot be uttered. And without the word, there is no meaning. So meaning and the word, both comes together. Always it will be having that link. Without, actually, we will be intended to say something. Before knowing the meaning only, we are uttering the word. We are using the word. If we want to convey a word, like we want to say a word like pot in Sanskrit, we will say vata. Without knowing the meaning, how I can utter the word? Okay, so even in your in your childhood also, you may be experienced that every time your mother come and instruct you, look at that. So that is elephant. See that? That is elephant. So this is the language teaching even you got from your childhood. Okay, so language has been taught from your childhood also. So that's why we say the first teacher for you is your mother. Mother will teach you the language. Then only you are learning that. That's why you are getting the mother tongue very familiarly. Okay, you are using the mother tongue as you wish, not like any other language. You may be well versed in English, but when you are well versed in mother tongue, you are so much interested to speak in your mother tongue. Okay, some Telugu people, if my mother tongue is Telugu, then though he know English, I know English, but we may be conversing in Telugu because of the Matru Bhasha Prabhava. Okay, the influence of mother tongue. So from your childhood also onwards, you are having that interest to converse in through your mother tongue. So what I am saying, the meaning and the word cannot be separable. Always both are combined. So that's what mentioned in the shloka written by Kalidasa in his very first shloka of his Kavya called Raghuvamsha. Vivasam Triptau. How the words and meaning are connected means like how the actually they are saying, I bow down to Parvati and Parameshwara. You know Parvati and Parameshwara, Shiva and Parvati, husband and wife. I bow down to them. How they are? They are always together, like the word and the meaning. So that's what he is comparing. He is comparing the word and meaning with the, the Parvati and Parameshwara with the word and the meaning. So always they both are together. Okay, this verse expresses the inseparable relationship between speech and meaning, much like the divine unity of Parvati and Shiva, the parents of the universe. Yes. Then, okay, what about the tradition of this linguistic related to Sanskrit? Let us see that. Have you heard about this system called Indian knowledge system? Anyone of you heard about this term IKS anywhere? No? So remember, this is a system which which was there, which is here, and which will be there forever. So this system is created by our own Bharata, our own India. Okay, so what we are calling as Bharata, it is our own India. So it has its own system. That not that Western system, not any other system. It is our own system called Indian knowledge system. I think in recent years by AICTE, some papers may be prescribed for you in future to take up this as the elective or minor degree in future. Okay, that will be going to happen through the advice of the Ministry of Education. Okay, so this in this Indian knowledge system, the philosophy of language developed by the Vyakarana. Vyakarana means nothing but grammar, and the Mimamsa. Mimamsa means dealing with the Vedic portions. Okay, discussing about the Vedic portions. Mimamsa was significantly influenced by the concepts rooted in the Vedas. These schools emphasized the creative and illuminative power of speech and explored its various levels of expression. And you may be heard about a person called Panini. And remember, look at the tradition, how the system is there. So these are the people like Apishali, Kashyapa, Gargya, Galava, Chakravarmana, Aradwaja, Shakatayana, Shakalya, Senaka, and so on. So these are the pre-Paninian period scholars. So they are well versed in grammar. Okay. So, but remember, they are more contributed to Vedic grammar. They are not bothered about this Sanskrit grammar. But Panini has concentrated on both the things, like Vedic grammar as well as the classical grammar. And you may heard about a text called Ashtadhyayi. Ashtadhyayi is the Panini's main text. Okay, he has written a text called Ashtadhyayi, which has 8 chapters, around 4,000 sutras, 3,983 formulas he has mentioned in that text. Okay, about this Sanskrit grammar and the Vedic grammar. Remember, why we are cherishing about this Panini means because he has that he is renowned for his precision. Okay, so he will not use much words to instruct you. Okay, he will use a short formula to instruct this much of grammar. Okay, so he will use minimum words, and the work provides, the Ashtadhyayi work provides a detailed analysis of both Vaidika Shabdas, means Vedic words, and Laukika Shabdas, common words which we are using in our language, making it a vital link between the two linguistic domains. Its significance is immense as it serves as the bridge that connects Vedic language with everyday language. Remember, he has defined rules that allows to generate and validate Sanskrit words and sentences. Remember what he has done. People may ask you, you are mentioning about so much about Panini, but give a pass. What he has done, what kind of problem he has solved. So that question may arise. So for that, the answer is he has solved a problem which he has put a rule for the whole Sanskrit language as well as the Vedic language. That's what the contribution he has done for. Frame the meta rules around 4000 and for Vedic and Sanskrit literature, and he has influenced modern linguistics. Those who are modern linguistics, you can say Noam Chomsky, and so many linguistics are there who were influenced by Panini because of his system. Being a forerunner of modern formal language theory and being used in computer simulations. Remember, what about the relevance of Paninian grammar? People may ask you, what is the relevance? Why you are talking about him? So remember, the four functions of grammar as defined in ancient Indian thought remain relevant and applicable in today's study of universal languages. Okay, if you are studying a language, means it should have some purpose, it should have some use. So for that, I have mentioned some use for that. Look at the first point, that is Raksha. Raksha means we say protection of language. Protection of language. And remember, if we are protecting our language means, have you heard about this thing? Like when the Tamil people or Kannada people or Telugu people, they are so much into their language. Why? Can you mention why they are so much devoted to their language? Because it is not about language. It is about their heritage and their culture. In language, they are having culture. If you are collapsing the language, then that will collapse my culture. So that is the reason by protecting the language, he has preserved our heritage, cultural heritage. That's what his contribution. Through the term called Raksha. Raksha means he has protected the Vedic hymns. Through that, he has protected the Sanskrit. In today's world, language acts as a vessel for culture and heritage. Preserving language is crucial for safeguarding cultural diversity and maintaining historical records. Just as Vyakarna played a key role in preserving the Vedas, the study of grammar is essential for maintaining languages and dialects. Linguists and language experts work diligently to document and revitalize endangered languages. So we obviously say this Sanskrit as the dead language. Have you heard about this? People are keep on saying that no one is conversing, then why you are studying this? If there is a conversation, then only I will study. No one is conversing in Sanskrit, then why you are talking about Sanskrit? It is not about that. All our culture maybe I'm not sure, may be protected by this language in any way. If you are speaking your language, mother language, whether it is, let us take the Dravidian languages like Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada. Okay, most of the languages, if you are speaking pure language, then you may experience that most of the words in Sanskrit. There are so much of borrowing words. If you hear All India Radio in Telugu or Kannada or Malayalam or Tamil, you may be heard so much of Sanskrit words. So there is a relevance in all our Indian languages. You can say for sure. In Hindi, in Bengali or Odia, most of the languages has Sanskrit influence. Okay, for that reason also, this language has to be protected by us. Okay, linguists and language experts work diligently to document and revitalize endangered languages, ensuring that continued vitality alongside global languages. This preservation involves archiving both written and spoken text, oral traditions, and folklore. And remember, if you go to China or Japan, how they are conversing? Are they conversing in English? No. Through what they are conversing? Japanese and Chinese. Why? If as English is the global language, so they have to converse, but that they are having, so what they are thinking that it is my culture. If you want to have a business with me, then you should either speak in Chinese or you should have the one who can translate it. So have it and converse with me. So that kind of that what we can say interest they are having to protect their culture and their language. So that kind of thinking we should have in future. And look at the thing. Second aspect is uha. Uha is nothing but adaptation and modification of effective communication. If we want to communicate effectively, how we should communicate? We have to modify our language, which make understand the thought of myself. Okay, if I am conversing something means he has to understand that. So for that, I have to modify a little bit. If I am speaking complex sentences, using complex sentences, if he is not understanding means, then what is the use of speaking? So no use. So languages are constantly evolving to meet the changing needs of their speakers. For example, I will give you an example through Yuha. Uha, what is that? If you are performing a sacrifice, if you are giving oblation, offering to the Agni, then what we utter Agnaye Swaha. Swaha means oblation I am giving. So for whom I am giving? For the Agni. So Agnaye Swaha. If the same case, if I am giving something to Indra, then how I have to say? I have to say Indraya Swaha. So that kind of knowledge, the adaptation or modification I should do when I am performing a sacrifice. For that sake also, you should read grammar. Okay. So it is not about preserving the past, but also adapting to the present and future. Okay. For instance, grammar influences the introduction of new words. In Sanskrit, you could not see so much of new words because the language is well structured. But in some other language like Tamil, in those days, we say Selgiran. Selgiran means he is going. But nowadays we are saying Pora. Pora means he is going. So why we have changed that? So because of the present situation, present scenario, we are changing the language. So it is like colloquial or formal or informal. We are evolving ourselves. Okay. And look at the next one, Lagu. Remember, grammar, especially Sanskrit grammar, if we want to utter 4 words, we can use those 4 words in single word. For example, if I want to say, he is the son of Dasharatha, how many words I am using? He is the son of the Dasharatha. 6 words. So for 6 words, I am using 1 word. That is Dasharathi. Single word. Dasharatha's son. Dasharatha's son. That's it over. So or Saha Dasharati. So he is Dasharati. So how many words I am using? 6 words I am using in English. Whereas I am using 3 words in Sanskrit. So this will give me ease of language acquisition and learning. So that's what they have mentioned it as Laghu. The principles of grammar aid learners in understanding the language structure and rules, making language acquisition more efficient. In modern language education, grammar is a fundamental component that provides a structured approach to mastering a language. This is especially important for second language learners and those developing language proficiency in formal educational settings. Grammar textbooks and language learning applications frequently emphasize these rules. And last one, if we are uttering a language or sentence, There should not be any kind of ambiguity. We should be very clear when we are uttering something towards others. So that's what lastly mentioned, asandeha. Asandeha means clarity in communication and interpretation. Sometimes we have to interpret this sentence. Grammar enhances clarity in communication, which is essential for effective information exchange in our interconnected world. In an era of global communication, clarity is critical. Remember, if you are uttering something, that may be interpreted by the other end because of some ambiguity. Okay. And for the clear communication in legal documents, you could see that legal documents, every time we go to a lawyer to check this document is safe or not, whether they put some the class or not. Okay, kindly check it because of the clarity, clear communication in legal documents and scientific papers and international diplomacy relies on universally accepted grammatical standard. If there is no standard, then they will not accept that document. Okay, it should have some standard. Proper grammar ensures that messages are accurately understood, preventing misunderstanding and misinterpretation or ambiguities. Okay, so that's what the four main functions of studying a grammar. So, Vyakarana, grammar as a discipline, possesses the ability to purify and protect Vedic text, serving as a gateway to understanding the deep connection between language and reality. Okay? And look at the works of Panini, what he has done. He has done Ashtadhyayi, I already mentioned, and he has done root words. He has done a text for root words. How many roots are there? For example, let's we take this go. Go is a root word in English. How that can be used in different contexts like go, goes, went, gone, going, etc. etc. So the root word is go. Like that, there are 2100 root words are there. Approximately 2100 root words are there in that text along with the meanings. And the third part is Ganapata. Ganapata is a exhaustive collection or a list of various nominal or non-verbal root words, which is called as Pradipadika. Pradipadika means nothing but stem words. He has put all the stem words into a particular group. So that's what known as Ganapata. And the next one is Unadi Sutrapata. Unadi Sutrapata is a text which is full of sutras, aphorisms, rules similar to Ashtadhyayi Sutrapata, though with a much narrower scope. It contains only 5 chapters and total of 750 rules, sutras. It begins with prescribing the suffix called un. It starts with un suffix. So that's why it is called as unadi. It gives a list of verbal roots and suffixes which can be applied to create some stem words in Sanskrit. And then at last, in Sanskrit, if you are a second language learner, you maybe experience this in Hindi or some other language. We could identify, even in your earlier stages, you may be having the ambiguity to fix a gender for a particular word. For example, what is the gender of rail, train in Hindi? Why it is female? No, no answer. What is the term for shirt in Hindi? It's not dhoti. Any other word for that? In Hindi, shirt. In Sanskrit, we say yutaka. Or let us take something for shirt or for pant. No? Okay, let us have this. Dhoti. Let us take dhoti. Can you say what is the gender for dhoti? Female? Male. Okay. Why it is male? No. No reason behind that. Okay. So you are having this confusion throughout your childhood. From childhood, even now you are having that feeling. But in Sanskrit also the same thing is happening. Okay, there is a word called pati. There is a word called pati. Pati means, you know that, husband. Very good. Pati. Whereas mati means what? Mati. Very good. Buddhi. Pati is in which gender? Pati is in masculine gender. Don't compare with the person. Okay, Pati is in masculine gender, whereas Mati is in feminine gender. There is a rule behind this. Remember, except Pati, whatever word ends with T, that is in feminine gender. There is a rule laid by Panini. What he is saying, the suffix tin after a root, if it is used, then it is in feminine gender. So you can say Shruti, Gati, Kriti, etc., etc. Whatever you say, that will be in feminine gender except Pati. So this will give you some clarity. Okay, if this suffix is there, then this can be fixed as feminine gender or masculine gender or neuter gender. But in Hindi, actually, you can have a deeper study. In Hindi also, there are some rules. Okay, without rule, the language cannot be used. So there is definitely a rule, but you have to think because they are using some gender for even English words. So bottle has some gender. So I don't have some clue for that how they are fixing that gender. But in Sanskrit, for that he has written a text called Linganu Shasanam. He has fixed everything in that particular text. Linganu Shasanam is a text containing sutras, rules, and it is used to determine the genders. Genders are not based on the actual people. Remember, there is a word called Khatwa. Katwa. Katwa means it is like cot. Katwa means cot. Let us say bed. Katwa means bed. But that is used in feminine gender. Why it is feminine gender? Is it feminine? Is it female? No. Then why we are using it feminine? So there is a rule. If at all there is a suffix called a, then it is in feminine gender. Sita, Mala, Rama, and so on. So there are some rules behind that. Because of that only they are saying it as this is in feminine, this is in masculine. So like that. Okay, so this text gives you the idea about determining the gender. Okay, and look at the morphological aspects. I think we have already heard about this term called morphology. Before going to the morphology, let us have the picture. Kindly see that. Look at the first layer, which is what known as the layer for Pasha. Pasha means nothing but language. So in language, you could find so much of words. Okay, a language is full of words. Words mean sentences. Full of sentences. So that's what I have mentioned it as Vakya. So in Bhasha or in scriptures, you could find lots of sentences. And sentences are made through the words. How a sentence can be structured in a language? Through words only. If you are combining the words, then it will become a sentence. If you are combining the sentence, then it will become a paragraph or essay or a lesson or a book or a bhasha. Okay? So bhasha and vakyam, and then you can see the padam. Okay? So look at this padam. Panini has the classification of pada into two. He has segregated the pada into two. Look at that. Actually, this is a big picture for pada. Look at here. Padam means you can have two varieties. Can you say how many types of words in English? Any idea? Noun, verbs, any other term like this? Noun, verb, break up. Okay. Okay. So noun, verbs, etc., etc. So many things are there. In the same way, here also you can see he has classified all the words into two. Either it could be subanta or tinganta. Subanta is nothing but a noun. Tinganta is nothing but a verb. Everything comes under this. All the Sanskrit words. I'm talking about classical Sanskrit. Whether it is a word, if it is denoting an action, action denoting word, that is called verb. In Sanskrit, it is called as Tinganta. And the next one is Subanta. Subanta means now. Okay, so let us continue in the next session. We will have a 10 minutes break, 5 minutes break. We have and no, after the break. No much more.
with tea or coffee, sir. Tea.
Shall we continue, ma'am? Look at the word. I already mentioned two kinds of words are there in Sanskrit. One is Subanta, another one is Inanta. Subanta means noun, Inanta means verb. Look at the words I have mentioned next to the Subanta. Ramaha. You may have heard about this. Ramaha. Look at that. So whenever we are uttering a word which ends with aha sound, generally it will be in masculine gender. So, so that's why I have given that example. Ramaha. Generally, I am talking about in general. Aha ended word will have masculine. So Ramaha. Look at the next word. Eta. Eta, which is used in feminine gender, that is also ends with sub suffix. So that's why it is called as Suganta. And look at the third word, that is Vanam. Whenever a word ends with sound, generally it is in neuter gender. So Vanam, word Vanam. And look at the examples of Tinanta. For example, Daksati, word Daksati, Atati, and Hatati, etc. So these words are considered as Tinanta. Whether a word ends with T generally, and it should denote an action. For example, Vit-Csu means business, and Hasti means these are words. And look at the third word, Patati. So these are the words for Singanta. Example for Singanta. And the noun can be classified into two. One is non-compounded word and compounded word. Samastam means compounded word. For example, in English, you could have heard this word called watchman. Actually, that is the same word, watchman. It consists two words. One is watch, another one is man. It gives a different meaning. Watchman is the person who is taking care of something. Okay, who is protecting something. Watchman. These kind of examples you can give in English. In Sanskrit, we can look at the word Rashtrapati. Rashtra means nation. Patihi means the one who is leading. The one who is leading the nation, he is known as Rashtrapati. Can I have the translation of Rashtrapati? President, yes. Go to the next one. Rajyapalaha. Ah, not Prime Minister. Governor. Rajyapalaha. Rajya means state here, and Palaha means the one who is governing. He is known as Rajya Palaha, governor. Look at that word, there are two words, Rajya and Pala, which gives you a different meaning. Rajya means state, and Pala means the one who is protecting. So here, who is protecting a state is known as Rajya Pala. Governor is known as Rajya Pala. Then look at this next word, Raja Purasaha. I think there is a word called Raja. Raja means a king. Purusha means the one who is belonging to a king. He is known as Raja Purasaha. So Raja Purusha is also an example of a compounded noun. That we call in Sanskrit Samasta Padam. Samasta Padam means compounded word. Look at the next one, Asamastam. Asamastam means it will not be compounded, it will be a single word. Okay? For example, look at the word Patakaha. Patakaha means the one who can teach you. He is known as. The person is known as Patakaha. And look at the next one. You can get that meaning. Buddhiman. Smart. Buddhi means intellect. Man, the one who is possessing with intellect, is known as Buddhiman. Buddhiman is a single word. It is asamastam. Asamastam means when it is not connected with another subanta, it will be called as samastam. When you have only one subanta, it is known as asamasta. And the last example is sir. In language, they often use the word called cha. For example, Ramaha, Lakshmanaha cha. What does it mean? Cha, Rama, and Lakshmana. So cha means and. It is an indeclinable word. What does indeclinable word mean? Indeclinable word means you cannot say the noun form. Noun form means the table, the whole table. For example, Rama, Rama, Rama. So there is a table for a noun. So that, for which you cannot find that table, it is known as indeclinable word, which cannot be declined. It is known as Avyaya in Sanskrit, we say it as indeclinable word. Cha. Iti means that when we are inspecting a sentence or narrating a sentence, at the end of the sentence we will use iti. So, for example, it mean that, so we will quote the sentence. So that after the quotation, there is an Upanishad called Mundaka Upanishad. In Upanishad, there is a statement, Satyameva Jayate. Have you seen anywhere this statement? Satyameva Jayate. That in the national emblem, you could have seen that statement called Satyameva Jayate. What does it mean? Have you seen the translation? Yes. Truth. Okay. Truth not divine. Truth alone kills. This is the translation for that sentence. Satyameva Dayate. It is taken from Upanishad called, the last part of Veda is called Mundakopanishad. In that it is stated. So when you are quoting that, Satyameva Dayate iti. Iti means that is a sentence in Mundakopanishad. Iti. Iti means okay. So there are two kinds of Sumanta. And again, when you find a single Atamaska Subanta, there is three kinds. One is Tadvita ended derivatives, Sudanta ended derivatives, not both. No, Ubhayam. Look at an example. The first example is I have already mentioned Dasharati. Dasharati means the son of Dasharatha. Can you give the meaning of Saumitri? Saumitri, the same way. Dasharathi means the son of Dasharatha. Saumitri, sorry, is it Saumitri's son or any other son? Very good. Sumitra's son. Sumitra's son is known as Saumitri. Then Prati. Sumitra's son. Kausalya's son is Rama. Sumitra's son, sorry? Lakshmana, yes. Saumitri. In Ramayana, you could have seen four places. Saumitri, Saumitri. And Rama will address like this. He will call Lakshmana, oh Saumitri, oh Saumitri. Again and again, repeatedly he will instruct. Okay. Look at the example of Kridanta. The example is like a person did something. He did. Kritavan. Kritavan means he did. He did something. Okay. Kritavan means a person who did something. And Kritam means we said done. It is done. So for that we will use the word Kritam. And look at the last one. Kritva. Kritva means having done. After doing. So in that meaning we will use. That we will use having done in a sentence. That we will use. Remember, when a person is performing two actions, one after another. So for the first, when he performing the first action, we say kritva. For example, having eaten, he went to school. Having eaten, after eating, he went to school. Kritva, dukva, gatva, and so on. And last one, eva. Eva means indeed, only. So this is the indeclinable. Ubhayam means indeclinable. Api, also. And last one, iti. I already mentioned it. So these are the three kinds of Subantas available. Tadvitanta derivatives, Kridanta derivatives, and na Ubhayam, not both. Okay. So three kinds of Subantas are available in Sanskrit. And Tiganta means a word which ends with three suffix. Three suffix means T or Te. The word will be ended. For example, Atti, Vattate. Vattate means is there. Atti means is there. So a word which denotes an action and which ends with a suffix called Te, it is known as Tiganta. The verb is known as Tiganta. Take the examples. Patati, Pati, Patati. Here, T is the thing suffix, one among the thing suffix. But the T, you bear, it's a T. And Vadami means I tell. So, Bachati, he goes, Patati, they means, I know. So, these are the examples of Tilanta. You know the difference? When I say Gachati means he goes, you go means second person, I read means I kill means first person. You know the difference. Okay? So look at one sentence. Balakaha Narena Shalam Gachati. Balaka means you have the translation of the sentence. Balakaha means a boy, Gachati. Gachati means goes. A boy goes. The boy goes where? What is the destination? That object is home. Yes. Home. The word is Kalam. Kala means you can say Vidyalaya and Patalaya, anything you can say. But here it is mentioned as Shala. Shala means Kalam. And look at the word, to what he is going, by what he is going. Vehicle. Yanena. Yana means vehicle and Yanena means vehicle. He is going to school or he goes to school. So this is the sentence. Is the word which denotes the doer. That's the action denoting word. Yanena is the road and Shala is the destination. Destination could be mentioned in use that object in Sanskrit. So this is an example of, remember, all these words are quoted from a root in Sanskrit. Remember, without root, these words cannot be formed. So root is the main cause for each and every word in Sanskrit. For example, if you take Balaka, there is a root. If you take Gachati, there is a root. Shala, there is a root. And Yana, there is a root. Each and every word has its own root. So that's what mentioned in this. Vivutaha Karyalayam Gachate. From home, he goes to office. From home, he goes to office. So Gachati has root. Karyalayam has its own root. Karyalaya means there are three words. Karya, Alaya. Karya means work. Alaya means the place for work. So the place of work. So Karyalaya means office. Bhavataha means from home. Okay. From home, he goes to office. So I mentioned the roots in okay. Plus three more. Okay. So then we have some activity based on the morphology what you have learned today. Then we will continue this session. Let us have some. Hmm. Yes, yes, yes. In concept. இல்ல இல்ல அதெல்லாம் இருக்கு. அதெல்லாம் பக்கத்துல இருக்கு. இல்ல, அவங்களுக்கு தெரியும். So, good evening. Um, so my name is Pratima. Uh, as they would have already introduced, I'm working in LRTC, sorry, LRC in Triple Hyderabad. So, I work with computational linguistics, NLP, which is like in trend now, right? And I'm just going to give you some task that kind of gives you an idea what challenges might be there how to process Sanskrit text. Okay? So that is the objective well. So as an introduction, okay, next. Um, the main challenges that we can see in processing Sanskrit text are the prevalent NLP techniques is some of them are the not morphology of Sanskrit. So just now, good Satsai. So he like elaborated on the different kinds of morphology, that is, different kinds of forms available in Sanskrit. That poses a great challenge to when processing text. Okay, we'll see why that is not like that. And there is also its vocabulary. Like for one, you can have so many words, and for one word, there are so many meanings. So you need to when we are like doing translation or anything, we need to consider the different meanings in the context because the meaning it can be so diverse. And we can also say with Sanskrit has very compounding. Like it can have really long words. There is a text called Kadambari where a single word will go to almost an like full A4 sheet with a single word. Okay. Uh, and there is also the problem of height of word order. In English as well as Hindi, we can see that if you jumble the words in a sentence, no won't have much. There'll be a lot of problem to understand. Like sorry, yeah, there'll be a lot of problem to understand a sentence because it won't make sense. For example, if you say your cat eats rat, it makes sense. But we can say if you don't the sentence, yeah, rat eats a cat, then the meaning is not the same. But Sanskrit, there's no problem like that. You can change the words, and the meaning still remains true. So because of that, let's use it extensively to rearrange the words so that it comes under a particular meter. But when we are trying to understand the sentence automatically using machines, we will face problems. And last is low resource. So Sanskrit, it's well known it's a low resource language. The thing that I want to focus last it's low resource because most of its resources not available digitally, not because it does not have much content. In fact, it is one of the Sanskrit has a huge amount of content, um, and there's no lack of content. But how much of that content is available digitally to process digitally to train machines? Not much. Okay, so we are trying to use both rule-based systems as well as statistical systems to bring good terms to Sanskrit. Yeah. So I was talking about the heavy compounding, right? You can see a very long compound effect. So that's actually a single word, and it has so much of meaning that is like compressed into the single word. So what do you can you get an idea of what this? Anybody want to try? Like one give the last word is the main word, like a last part of the word. Anybody want to try? You want to try? Okay. So this okay. I given the spot there, I don't think it's legible. The screen is not legible even to me. So it's actually I'll just read it out. Anaya Mukuta Mani Mancha Chaya Chayana Nagalam. So it actually means the fruit of the Devata, which is responsible for a lot of the other Devatas. It's essentially there is a meaning. But it actually means the path, the faith, rather. Okay. So that is the actual meaning of the, it's actually a single word. Okay. So coming to the morphology that Sam is discussing, um, yeah, we will more activity now. Okay. So I was saying about the H morphology, right? So you'll get an idea. Okay. So here we will be using two tools. One is called the Samsadhani, which is a Sanskrit toolkit to process Sanskrit words and sentences. It will help us. Like it is a tool that we can use for learning ourselves Sanskrit as well as teaching other people. So we'll try using that. Okay. Yeah. I it has internet connection, right? Everybody have internet connection? Okay. Yeah. So please visit this URL. I can make it better. Under Janada Daily. Yeah. So it's simply like tinyurl.com slash NLPQs123. NLPQs123. So it will be like a course. It won't be based on the concept that you learn so far because that is not the intention here. It is for you to explore the Sanskrit words. Okay. So the idea is like to test your linguistic intuition. Everybody has linguistic intuition. We we study a language, we use the language for speaking, writing, etc. We develop a kind of intuition. So we have to like explore your intuition in Sanskrit. Okay. So I would suggest like open link using laptop. Okay. Let me know like when you are ready. I'll give you a minute. If everybody is ready, let me know. If everybody ready, like I will open the link in your laptop. Yeah. Um, okay. So the first activity is actually classification where we will be classifying a word as either noun or word. The Sanskrit word as a word or noun. So start what is a Tumanta, what is a Samanta, right? So You'll be having this while you'll be classifying the word as verb or noun. Okay? So, right on your own, you use the samsadhani tool. Okay? The left samsadhani is given on the left hand side, the right hand side. Okay? There is no samsadhani else. There you can open the same website. Use the other. Okay? So you have to keep working. One is the quiz, the other thing is the samsadhani site. Okay? Because have you opened the quiz? I hope you are not difficult. Okay. Yeah. So your job is simple. Okay. What you have is you have the word Ramaha, for example. So you can mark it. You know that confidently Ramaha is noun. You can mark it as noun. But I would suggest you don't, because you say whether Ramaha is actually only noun, but with the other options as well. Noun, verb, noun, and both noun and verb. Okay. So we'll explore. That's the Ramaha. We'll take the Ramaha from there. Okay. You can either talk to the Devanagari or it's called WX notation. You will find the notation a little bit strange sometimes. It's for representing Sanskrit letters and Latin letters. Okay. You're going to copy that, right? Now, if you have some side, so this is how the Samsadhan site will work. Okay. And I can see at the top, there is phones, where are the phones, and open, physical, the first one. Okay. Not for the answer. In the room, the open the Samsadhan site, and then the and the web, mathematical analyzer. Yeah. Is it open? Okay. Now you have part of the word. It might be in Devanagari. I have part of Devanagari. I using that is in Devanagari. You just press the press word, then press it there, okay, and click submit. Will take about a minute, maybe at most. We'll get the results. Okay. If it's not working for anybody, let me know. I will come and quit. Yeah. Can you see it on the screen? Okay. Is the same result coming for you? Are you getting similar results? Okay. Good. Now, if you see instructions in the activity, consider whatever is in the red box is the verb. Whatever is in the blue box is the noun. Whatever is in the blue as blue box, sorry, whatever is in the blue box, and it has two links. It's actually a derived noun. Okay, a noun which is derived from a verb. Okay, so red is verb, that's noun, and the two links is the derived verb. So based on that, you have to mark it in the quiz. Okay, now say that. So this is in red color. Okay, red is verb. Okay, so red is verb. So Ramaha, you are saying it as noun, right? Yeah, so it's also a verb. Okay, the shabda goes like this: Vati, Vataha, Ranti, and Ramaha will be the Uttama Bhusha, Bahuvachana. Okay, yeah, Uttama, first person, Bahuvachana. Okay, so it's also a noun. So it's also a noun as well as a verb. Okay. So what will be the answer in the quiz? What will be the answer in the quiz? It will be both noun and verb. Okay. So that's first question. I have done it for you. You can try the rest of the questions. Okay. ಇದಾನ್ ನೋಟೇಶನ್ WFC. East, WFC. Yes. Yeah, yes, என்னுடைய டைப் மிஷின் இது ஜான உருவாக்கத்தில் அதில் கிராமத்தில் சக்தி வந்து ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ರಚನೆ பண்ணும் அது புள்ளி மாணவர்கள் ஆனால் பரிமாணத்தில் இது WX WX இல்லை நம்ம அக்ஷர முக்கால்லாம் பார்க்கணும் அதுல இருக்கும் இது ஆஃப் பண்ண முடியலாம். So I'll do some for that hand. It's difficult. The first difficulty, no, I'll come to you and do. Okay. Um, so your time starts now. 5 minutes. Okay. Vit-Csu, rolling bit. Is there none of the other option there? Okay, okay. So change the question. Madhu-Diksha. Spelling the Diksha shouldn't be a problem. அது கரெக்ட் தான் அவங்க அவங்களுக்கு நிறைய தான் பிரச்சனை. So anybody else is trying? Okay. Yeah. So you might find that the last question, the misunderstanding, because the word Devaksha, it actually means to sleep, to sleep. I want to sleep. Okay. But it's not found in the dictionary. We do not have the word in the dictionary. So like there should be another option, right? Maybe like none of the other. It's actually a word. Sorry, it's actually a noun. It is from a verb. Okay. So they did want to see. Okay, to see is actually a verb. Okay? And the want to see is actually the verb thing is noun. Okay, so yeah. So it should have been actually just the noun should have been the answer. Okay, I suppose some of them submitted the quiz. So once you have completed all the questions, please submit the quiz. I'll just check. Okay. Okay. So if I say what's not the steps, for the first question, 60% of the people have answered correct, in spite of me answering the question myself. Okay. And for the second, most of you people have marked it as verb. But the answer again is noun, noun and verb. The reason is bhavati is a verb. In the it's a verb dhatu. It becomes bhavati in latlakaya. So it's a noun, it's a verb, as well as a noun. I'll just try that example again. Okay, bhavati. Let us see bhavati. What does the mission do? So this is the answer for bhavati. It's yeah. Red has now, so that's the correct answer. Red is represented by red color, so it is red and so it's red as well as there is also another derivation which shows it is blue. Okay, so it means that it's a noun also. But in the blue, you can see there is so many kind of derivations. Like it can come from Bharat Shabda, Satyam Vidya, it can be from with a bird noun as well. So it should be the answer is actually all of the above. It's not just noun verb, but it's actually all of the above. Okay, it's a noun as well. And yeah, and it can be the sambodhana ekavachana of bhavati. Okay, you are calling for bhavati. Okay, something like that. Okay. Uh, so if you see the results, okay. So 10% of the people say that it is all of the above. So that's false. And Dana, yeah. So Dana, I don't know, like how is it some wild guess? Okay, I will use the samsara site. You will know that the Dhanam is only noun. Okay, so 80% of people have answered it as noun. So it's a good trend, yeah. And Ayati is verb, and it is also a yeah, all of the above? No, it's not all of the above. And it's not a word now. Certainly, it's not a word now. It's only a okay. It's actually a bad word. It's a niche. You are a niche means kayavati means to make to do. Okay, you are making someone to do. Okay, so it's actually a word, but it's a word essentially. நீங்க அதை சொல்ல முடியுமா? Yeah, and Dipeksha. I see that the answers like kind of almost distributed. Okay. So maybe you got tired by the last question. And I said, I also like ran the exam and showed you, you're not getting the result. It's actually noun. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, I got second most answers noun. So that's good. Okay. Yeah. So that's why we first started. I'm happy that like 26 people have answered it. That's a very good number. Yes. And we'll see a little bit about whether we need NLP applications for Sanskrit. Like Sanskrit is not of course spoken by many people. Many people even do not study Sanskrit. Okay, it's a very niche group who studies Sanskrit, and even of that, there are only a few people, several people, but a few people who actually works on the NLP side of Sanskrit. Okay, so then why do we need um, these tools for Sanskrit? Like if nobody is working on it, why do we need it? Okay. Yes, actually, one thing is, of course, Sanskrit may not be much relevant today, but the language may not be spoken today. But Sanskrit is a key to a vast amount of corpus, a vast amount of knowledge system that we built over centuries. Okay, it's like English. Just think, after a millennia, okay, after a millennia, everybody forgets English. Okay, what should we do? We have collected so much of corpus in English, like scientific corpus, religious corpus, everything is now in English, right? Every transaction. But after a millennia, if people have forgotten English, okay, so what will happen? The work that we have so much work done, like so much, almost the entire population of the earth has worked on for centuries, would have been large, right? So that's what is happening here. We have so much of scientific as well as religious, philosophical, psychology, everything is there. I'm not saying they have covered the entire knowledge, okay, but they have done a significant work. And it's our duty, like to at least have a look at it. Okay, since we are scientists, okay, since we are scientists, it's we should be curious to look at it. And Sanskrit is the key. Okay, it is written in Sanskrit, so we even if we don't understand Sanskrit, we need to develop such tools so that people who are in science and the people who are outside of the Sanskrit domain can have access to the knowledge um, that's behind Sanskrit. Okay, so that's the issue here. We need to develop such tools because everybody needs to get access to the knowledge that we have so dedicatedly built over centuries. Okay, and yeah, what about translations? We have translations for so many of these texts. We can directly use them. Why do we need again Sanskrit? There's so much lost in these translations. During some of the end of the British colonial era, there are so many translations of Sanskrit text. Okay, so many translations of Sanskrit text, but many of we can see that many of the original texts are misinterpreted in them. Okay, so the only way we can have a correct knowledge what is there in the scientific corpuses, scientific treatises like Mimamsa, Nyaya, etc., is by direct access to the corpus, direct access to the text. Okay, so that can be achieved easily by developing such NLP tools. NLP tools such as mission translation, and the e-readers, etc. Okay. And the last but not the least, we see that, we are like almost very few people who are working on the NLP side of Sanskrit. So, and the Sanskrit people again are less. So, if engineering people who are doing engineering in our country, who have been influenced one way or another by the tradition and the Ramayana, Mahabharata, etc., that we have seen so far, that is, we have heard so far from our parents and grandparents. So it's our duty to like make sure such it's rather than our duty. It's like we are the only one who can do it. Okay, so essentially, if not us, who else will be doing it? Okay. Of course, nobody is going to come from Japan or Russia or going to. There are a few people who are searching from there, but nobody is, of course, going to do a deeper work in it. It's our responsibility as well as. Okay, I have been not speaking in the right, so I got it. Okay. It's our responsibility as well as our curiosity that which has to know this text to our future generations. Okay, that's essentially that. Um, Context பேசிங்களா இந்த எக்ஸஸ் டேட்டா கொடுத்தலாம் context data கொடுத்தலாம். Yeah. So I will show one more slide and we'll do one more activity. Okay. So what are we currently focus from Sanskrit developer side? Okay, what are we doing now? It starts from this side. We have, I said, we have so much of text, okay, and we need to digitalize it. There is text in manuscripts. There, like, if you like take all the manuscripts in Sanskrit which are currently there, combined everything, okay, it is so much more than the amount of text available in Greek and Latin, which are also classical languages, okay, which are also used for scientific purposes a long, long ago. Uh, but our text, we have so much of it, but we need to, we still don't have access to them directly. Okay, so the first step what we do is we do an OCR, we extract those texts, okay, and then we have some post OCR correction, etc., where the OCR might make mistakes. We all know that. So we correct those things in MVP task, which we try to do it automatically because there are not many people who can help us manually. Okay, and we annotate them so that it can be useful for missions. Okay, there's some data. We were talking that there's so much of data in Sanskrit, so much of information in Sanskrit, but it's not available. So that's why we call Sanskrit as a low resource language from NLP. Okay. Um, why do we have this? Because there are no much annotated data available for processing. If the mission in the current era where we are using transformers and BERT, etc., to automatically do supervised learning as well as unsupervised learning, we need so much of data. Okay, these machines, these transformers, etc., are built on data, and such data has to be in the annotated format. Like we need parallel text, we need to text that gives grammatic information, etc., which gives semantic information. So that data is needed to actually create a good Sanskrit processing machine. Okay. Yeah. So then we do machine translation. We try to do machine translation as much as possible, but Sanskrit inherently, as I said before, one word can have so many meanings, and for so many meanings, for the same meaning, there are so many words. So we face the problem of disambiguation. Okay, so we try to like solve those problems using lemmatization, morphosyntactic analysis, etc., and we try to bring the parse. Okay, we'll soon see how a parse tree looks like. Like we parse a sentence and we see a tree which shows the relationship between the words of the sentence. Okay, so what are these relations? Which Gupasatsa was discussing earlier. Okay, it can be Kauta, Kalma, Kriya, etc. We'll be seeing that soon. Yeah. So sometimes, sorry, the syntax part that Gupasatsa was discussing, and the what I was discussing recently, takes us to the next activity, which is you can use the same link as before. Okay, so this is your second activity in the same activity. So this was the one that I had to use NLP tools on people. Okay, visualizing Karaka. That is the second activity. I'll give a minute so that we can all open the Samsadhani site as well as the quiz. Okay, keep it set beside. I forget you have all opened the Samsadhani site. Samsadhani site, you can see there is it's not a very clearly visible one. You can see there is empty Sanskrit, okay, which is also known as Anusayakam. Okay, so you can open that. We will see what it is. These are actually automated machine translation from Sanskrit to Hebrew. Okay, and this is lexical based, also known as rule based system. Okay, so we have so I was talking about Panini. Okay, so we have a video that works on the Paninian grammar. Okay, which takes words from these various quotations and is able to do machine translation automatically. Like why do we need we have so much of technology now from like automatic train machines to um, translate sentences like how Google does it. But why do we need such systems? If you read the history of AI, you can say that there are two winters of AI. Okay? What happened like the first and second? The first was actually before the first one came of AI, you can see that most of these systems were actually built on such rule-based systems. Okay? Such lexicon-based systems. But it failed. Okay, it failed miserably. They failed miserably. Why? Because there were so many sentences, so many things that we can't translate just using a dictionary. Okay, we will face a problem eventually. But what actually happened in the second, before the second winter of AI, or the second cycle of AI, is the things that the lexicon that they have built to make such a machine translation system in the first cycle, that was used to build the second cycle, where they were able to do, they were able to build the probabilistic models based on the dictionary to create a better model. And we now have the third way of AI. The third way of AI, we have the dictionaries and the data available, which we are using to build better and better systems. So of course, we system start the whole thing. Okay. So we now have a basic system. So this will be activity. What we want to ask, you can open the quiz number 2 from the activity. I will present it. Okay. Right on. Okay. So I will do the first one. You can do the rest. Okay. The first one is Balaha, Ramam, Gachati. Okay. And the question is, what is the relationship between Balaha and Gachati? In the question, it is written as Ramaha and Gachati. But in Jaja, Balaha, what is the relationship between Balaha and Gachati? Okay. Copy the sentence, Balaha, Ramam, Gachati. Copy the sentence. Make the sentence. Paste the sentence there. Okay. Now just click submit. Paste the sentence there, copy the sentence with the page, paste it there, and click submit. And again, it will take some couple of minutes. That's great. Is yours over? You got the result? Okay. Okay, nice. I will present it then. Yeah. Huh? Yeah, சொல்லலாம் now. So, we can see the version has automatically translated the sentence. Balak, Bank, Bataha. Okay. I will suppose the translation is accurate because I'm not very much sure. But I suppose the translation is accurate. Okay. Uh, somebody want to verify it? Is the translation accurate? Okay. Yeah. Now, if you click on, there's a one, and you click on that link, okay, your table appears. So, in the table, there's one here. One here. Just click on it. Okay, keep the mouse on the one bar. Okay, your bar for that bar. Okay, you can see it. So, this bar, right, what are the relationship between the words in the sentence? Uh, and what was the question? What was the question? Yeah. Relation between Bala and Gachati here. Bala and Gachati. So the question was relationship between Bala and Gachati. Okay. So can you say that? What is the relationship with the diagram showing? Kalpa. Okay. So you can go to the quiz back. What is the relationship between Bala and Gachati? With the Kalpa. Okay. Now, what is Karta, Karma? What are these relationships? Okay. So that is what the linguistics, which is called syntax. Okay. Relationship between words and sentence. Okay. Here, where the answer. Yeah. Yeah. If you see on the if you see the program, it shows that the relationship between Bhava and Dachata is Karta and the relationship between Bhavam and Dachata is Karma. Okay? In a sentence, the words can be related in many ways. But in Sanskrit, we relate all the words, most of the words in a sentence are related. Okay? So, what is karta? Karta is the person who is doing the action. Okay? Which is the action? Doing the action. And what is the subject? As well as also known as karta. What is the subject? It is balaha. So balaha is the person who is doing the action called doing. Okay? And where is doing? Balam. So that is the object of the sentence. Okay? So the relationships. So there is karta and karma, and the karanam is the tool that you use to do the action. It can be like hastena tadayati, like you use your hand to beat someone. Okay. Sampadanam is like whenever you give something to another person, the person who is receiving it is usually given the relationship Sampadanam. Okay, the person receiving the dana is Sampadana relationship. Okay, and we have Apadana where if an object is separating from if two objects are separating, if the object that it is separating from is called a sampradana. For example, I am going from my village to the city. So my village becomes sampradana. Okay. For the action, going. Okay. And we have the last is adhitana, where the action is happening. Okay. If you are saying that, yeah, okay, I am living in a city. Okay, the city is where the living happens. The living action is happening in the city. Okay, so we call the city as the Adhikarana. Okay, yeah. So you can take the other examples, other sentences. There are around four more questions, I suppose. So complete the quiz and submit it. If you face any difficulty, I'll come back with. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes to complete the activity. After that, we'll see a few more slides and we'll wind it up. Okay. இந்த கரெக்டா போட்டு இங்கேயும் கரெக்டா போட்டு ரெண்டு கொஸ்டின் ஆகுதா இல்ல மூணு கொஸ்டின் அண்ணன் என்ன இருந்தாலும் ஸ்டேட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ் போறாங்க மோஸ்ட் பொட்டன்ஸ் கரெக்டா நான் என்ன பண்ணிருக்கேன்னா அந்த கொஸ்டினோட ஆர்டர்லாம் நான் மாத்தேன் ஆன்சரோட ஆர்டர் தான் கூட ஏன்னா எல்லாத்துக்கும் ஒரே ஆன்சர் தான் ஒரே ஆப்ஷன்ஸ் Right? Yeah. So is everybody like separated? Yeah. There were actually like 30 responses in the previous quiz, and it's like 50% of that was okay. Anyway, actually the one was improving, like increasing. Okay, let's see. So for the first question, like Balaha, Ram, that 30. Most of you have answered Kauta, and that's more. Like Balaha is actually the Kauta for the action. Gachati. Then the Balaha is the person who is diligent. And in case of Gachati, so Vasami, most of you have answered Adhikranam. Perfect. Adhikranam means is the place where the action is happening. So that's great. And for the third question, Saha Brahmat Agachati. Yeah, many people have answered Apadam. So it's like you have to pat yourself back. Okay, in the back. Because most of the people have answered right. And the last question has Tevana Likati, and that's also correct. Like I can give 100 out of 100 followers. Everybody. Because it's a very good number. Everybody selected column, that's correct. Okay. Yeah. You can clap yourself. Great. Um, so you can say that the words in the sentences are related using the graph. You can using the linguistic inclusion that I mentioned before. Um, Yeah. You'll, so you have an impression of syntax as well as the impression of the semantics, everything within ourselves. The syntax and semantics is not something we learn. It's not just we have capacity to do just this, like we know one language and we are trying to learn another language, we can automatically do it. Okay? Like it may not be correct, but we have the capability to do that. Okay? Yeah. So that was the second update. There was a third update planned, but I will do it myself. Okay? அதோட ரிசல்ட் நான் உங்களுக்கு so just present the background. Yes. So you can. I was mentioning before that there's the problem of word segmentation in Sanskrit. Like there will be a very long compound it's not difficult to handle. Okay, but even a small compound can have so many possible steps, so many possible what analysis. Okay, I'll give an example. So in linguistics, we call this phenomena as non-deterministic. Okay. For example, let's say 1 plus 4 is 5. You all know that 1 plus 4 is 5. But if you ask a question, what two number if you add, 5 will come. Okay. Tell me two numbers. If you add, 5 will come. So there are so many possibilities. It can be 1 plus 4, it can be 2 plus 3, it can be any 1 plus 4. Okay. So two possibilities. If you take 6, okay. So 1 plus 5, 2 plus 3 plus 3, and yeah, 5 plus 9 is also there for 5. Yeah, correct. Yeah, so there are so many possibilities. So when you have 5 and you want to get from where it came from, it's not possible. It's almost impossible. Okay? It's a similar problem in Sanskrit segmentation. You have to find the word and you want to find the constituents. It's almost impossible. We have so many splits. And most of the splits have valid meaning. Okay? For example, let's take a certain Ramalaya means is the place of Rama. Okay, there's a simplest meaning. But there are so many other meanings as well. For example, it can be that is the first meaning of it. It can be Rama's scorpion. Okay. It can be it can also mean Rama's scorpion. It can also mean uh, yeah, Rama's yeah. It can also be the scorpion of a charming person. It can also mean the praise of a charming person. Okay, because Rama itself has two meanings. Okay, so there are so many spirits, and each of these spirits can have valid meanings also. So that poses a big problem for Sanskrit. So these are some of the problems that we face when dealing with Sanskrit in NLP past. Okay, so that was the essence of the activities that we also have seen so far. Similarly, there is another sentence, Shweta Bhavati. There are tools to analyze these sentences. If you analyze those in them, we also showed the best solution, but we also saw that there are so many possible solutions, like Shweta, Upa, Bhavati, many things. Okay? Yeah. So we have said about the different focus areas of Sanskrit energy. We have covered those here. On the right side, we can see that there is pedagogy and self-knowledge. Many of these tools can be used for learning ourselves. That is because in the time to come, there may not be many Sanskrit scholars. So we need to create such a tool so that people can is interested to decode information that is present in the Sanskrit literature. Yeah, I'm saying decode because sometime in the future, Sanskrit might become non-understandable to most of us. So if we need a book code, we need such tools. Okay, and we saw that I heard that you people have created in the department which has that for Sanskrit, which is a wonderful thing. So if we need such, we need to build such advanced tools. We need such basic tools upon which these things can work. Okay. So if you want to explore further about Sanskrit NLP and computational linguistics working Sanskrit, okay, you can visit any of the sites. You have the Samsarani group in Hyderabad, which is working on Sanskrit NLP, and we have the website called Amburam. There you can find the video. You can click on the Ramayana text, it will give you English meaning, everything, which is all automatically generated. Grammatic language is very. And I will just show the last tool, Brahmamitra, which is which is a transformer-based translation engine for Sanskrit and many ancient languages, which is built by Kurt Kutze in He has been university, IMI Vegas, US. Yeah, I'll just show the more of that and we'll conclude. Yeah. Brahmamitra is a translation. So this is not based like Samsadani. It is actually using different language models. So when if you want to tell any sentence, I can type up there. Which is suggestion. What's the sentence so that I can type up there and let's see how the translation comes up. Anybody want to know comments? Oh, yeah, no business. Yeah. The sounds good sentence. Yeah, Shloka. Any Shloka you know? Come on. Yeah. Vit-Csu, I don't know the shloka, so yeah, it's okay. I don't know the shloka, so dictate again the word by word. I'll take it. Vit-Csu, Vit-Csu, Vasudevaya, Hataye, Paramatmane, Pranatmane, Keshavashaya, Nashaya, Govindaya, Namaha. Paramatmane. I bow down to Krishna, Vasudeva, and the Supreme Self for the destruction of afflictions, salutations again and again to Govinda. Naman. It is fine. We are able to build such tools only because many people have this, really, like programs. Mhm. So even a certain contribution, even a little contribution to the Sanskrit can make a great impact. So yeah, um, thank you. So if there are any other questions for me, I think that's all. Feel free to ask. Questions, please. Any questions, any suggestions? Most welcome. Secretary. ஆர்லேயும் ஏதோ போன் ஆர் இல்ல இல்ல எப்பயுமே வேணும்ன்ற கிண்டலுக்கு என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க உங்களுக்கு லெட்டர் வந்து நாளைக்கு நான் கொடுக்குறேன் லெட்டர் வந்து லெட்டருக்கு கொடுத்துறேன் ஆக்சுவலா நான் போய் ரெண்டு லெட்டர் கொடுத்தாங்க காலையில லெட்டர் மறுபடியும் ரீரைட் எடுத்தாங்க அவருக்கு ஏற்கனவே கொடுத்துட்டேன் ரீஃபண்ட் எடுத்தா கண்டிப்பா ஒரு லெட்டர் தரேன் பேங்க் அக்கௌண்ட் டீடைல்ஸ் எனக்கு வந்து வாட்ஸ்அப் பண்ண சொல்லிருக்கேன் அதாவது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பேஜ் அதுக்கு பாஸ் இருக்கு எனக்கு அப்படியே அனுப்பியிருக்கேன் சரியா மேக்ஸிமம் என்னால என்னென்ன செய்ய முடியும் செஞ்சு கொடுத்தேன் So if there are no other questions, shall we wind up? Okay. So thank you, Dr. Guru Prasad sir, and thank you, Dr. Prasanna, for hosting this afternoon session. It was really an insightful talk, and people really enjoyed it from their feedback from their faith to the awareness. So thanks for coming. Thanks for your time. So I'll just give you an decision. So take it. Can someone take a இதை நான் சும்மா இப்படி உங்களுக்கு கொடுக்குறேன் சார் நான் சும்மா கொடுக்குறேன் அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் உங்களுக்கு கொண்டு நான் உங்களுக்கு கொடுக்குறேன் someone take a photograph fully viewable all are viewable right that's it that's it right. I will. Thank you. Hey, one more Ravi. From there. So thanks for coming. And tomorrow we have sessions on LLM, large language models, Gen AI tools, RAG model, the RAG framework, and it will be handled by, and then we have two sessions. That is, this is about the morning part is the LLM, Gen AI, and the RAG with the demo, the chat GPT or whatever the demo, the Sanskrit chatbot demo will be held nearly to the lunch session, right? And post lunch, we have a professor, retired professor from University of Madras, nominated by the UGC, where he is a very serious person, and he will be dealing with the kind of mind map techniques with respect to Sanskrit. And it will be a highly interactive session. And again, there will be a hands-on session, which will be wherein Dr. Professor Swaminathan will be supported by her scholar, like his student, who is our psychology head, Dr. Vijay madam. So she will be there, and we'll be having two sessions tomorrow. So please do not miss those sessions. It will be highly informative. And Raj and all, he will be telling you from the basics Then we will also be seeing the demo of the students. So for students, for whomsoever some kind of errors are coming up today, some kind of issues, kindly rectify it. See to that you are showing the demo, full demo tomorrow. Even for people who are shown the demo in the morning session also, you are requested to show the same old demo again tomorrow. Right? Okay. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Thank you. And I'll be providing OD till 5:30, 6:30. Okay, I'll provide till 7:30. Thank you.